This is Decoded, AI for Everyone, the podcast that makes sense of artificial intelligence, not just in your pocket, but in your world. In Season 1, we built AI literacy, how to spot it, use it, and stay human alongside it. Now we're taking the next step, exploring how AI is shaping law, governance, climate, education, and the workplace of the future. From research to real-world impact, this is where literacy becomes leadership. I'm Joel Leslie, and this is Decoded, AI for Everyone. What happens when an algorithm decides whether you're innocent, guilty, or in debt? Season 1 was all about building your literacy in AI, spotting silent systems, building intentional workflows, and keeping your human edge. This season, we're going deeper. From literacy to leadership, from knowing how AI affects your day, to shaping how AI is shaping the world. And today, we start with a big one. AI in governance and law, and why it matters. Because if Season 1 was about you and your phone, Season 2 is about you and the system. Here's the story. In 2017, Australia's Robodebt scheme used algorithms to recover welfare overpayments. But the data matching was flawed. Thousands received false debt notices. The fallout? Court cases, a royal commission, and billions repaid. This wasn't just a tech glitch, it was a governance failure. And it shows us something important. When AI meets law, the states aren't about convenience. They're about rights, justice, and trust. So, what do we mean by AI governance? At its simplest, it's the guardrails, the policies, rules, and frameworks that guide how AI is designed, deployed, and held accountable. Governance shows up in three ways. These are governments. Governments write laws and regulations. The industry. Industry builds compliance and risk frameworks. And academia. Academics develop models and ethical theories that can be tested in practice. But here's why it matters. Governance is the line between AI helping you write a shopping list and AI deciding whether you get a home loan, a job interview, or a welfare payment. And in many cases, those decisions are already happening, quietly, and at scale. So, how are different parts of the world handling this? Let's take a look around the world. In Europe, the AI Act is on the verge of becoming the first major AI law. It classifies AI systems by risk, from low-risk chatbots to high-risk credit scoring, to outright bans on things like real-time biometric surveillance in public spaces. In the United States, regulation is fragmented. Federal agencies issue guidance, but much of the oversight is happening state by state. California is leading in privacy law, while the White House has pushed out an AI Bill of Rights. And here in Australia, well, we're still figuring it out, in the consultative phase. There are voluntary AI ethics principles, and the new Privacy Act is expected to expand definitions of personal data and accountability. But we're not at the stage of enforceable AI-specific law. Yet. And that's where things get tricky, because AI doesn't wait for Parliament. This is where organizations like Strategy and AI work, translating research-driven insight into practical strategies that help industry stay ahead of both compliance and ethics. It's the bridge between academic rigor and real-world application. But what happens when governance goes wrong? Now, let's take a look at two case studies. Robodebt and COMPAS. First, Robodebt. Back in 2017, Australia rolled out an automated system to identify and recover welfare overpayments. The idea was simple. Use algorithms to match welfare data with tax office records. If the numbers didn't line up, the system automatically generated a debt notice. On paper, it was efficient. In practice, it was a disaster. The algorithm averaged incomes incorrectly. Notices were issued without human review. vulnerable people were wrongly accused of owing thousands of dollars. The result? Over 400,000 Australians received false debt letters. The financial and psychological harm was immense. Some even linked the stress to tragic outcomes. Eventually, the program was ruled unlawful. Billions had to be repaid. A royal commission followed. What went wrong? Governance. There were no effective checks, no accountability structures, and no transparent appeal process. And here's the lesson. When automation meets law, it can't replace human responsibility. There is always a need for human in the loop or human at the helm. Now let's jump to the United States and a very different context, the justice system. In several states, judges have used a system called COMPAS to assess the risk of reoffending. Essentially, it's an algorithm that generates a risk score for defendants. That score influences sentencing, bail, and parole decisions. The problem? Investigation showed COMPAS was biased. It disproportionately labeled black defendants as high risk compared to white defendants with similar records. So here we have an AI tool, used not to automate paperwork, but to influence liberty and justice. And because the algorithm was proprietary, defendants couldn't challenge or even see the logic behind their scores. Again, efficiency without governance became injustice. So what do Robodebt and COMPAS tell us? That AI doesn't just automate decisions, it automates bias. And without governance, we end up with systems that are fast, scalable, and completely unjust. One way to think about it is decision hygiene, a concept from season 1. Back then, we talked about pausing before outsourcing your personal choices to AI. In season 2, let's scale that up. Firstly, governments made decision hygiene when approving new AI use cases. Secondly, companies need it when deploying AI in customer decisions. And thirdly, communities and the broader public, like us, need to know who is accountable if AI gets it wrong. So what does this mean for you? Here are 3 questions to carry. Number 1, if my workplace is using AI, do I know what rules apply? Number 2, when I hear about new AI laws, can I tell if they're protective or just performative? Number 3, do I understand how AI decisions about me are being audited, if at all? Because governance and law might sound abstract, but in practice, they decide who gets approved, who gets denied, and who gets left behind. And if we want AI to serve people, not just systems, then governance isn't optional, it's essential. So what can you do? At work, ask one question in your next team meeting. Do we know the rules for the AI we're using? That single question can start a bigger conversation. As a community member, when new AI laws hit the headlines, look past the headline. Ask, is this protecting me or just sounding good? And if it doesn't feel or sound right, speak up and do something about it. As a consumer, when AI makes a decision about you, don't be afraid to challenge it. Ask for the process, the audit trail, and the appeal process. It's not about becoming a lawyer. It's about building the habit of inquiry. Because governance starts with questions, and questions start with us. So that's governance. We've seen how it can fail, like with Robodebt and COMPAS, and why it matters that these systems are designed with accountability. Your role isn't to know every law, but to recognize when AI is making decisions that shape people's lives, and to speak up, ask questions, and push for transparency when it matters. Because governance isn't just written in legislation, it's written in the choices we make, the systems we question, and the standards we demand. This is the new era of AI. Following episode 12 of season 1, during our research for season 2, we heard a lot from many of you about what you'd like us to tackle this season. So, season 2 is all about the bigger systems of AI: governance, climate, education, and leadership. And today, we've seen why governance isn't just paperwork. It's about trust, justice, and accountability. Over to you now. What questions do you have about AI laws, regulation, or governance? drop me a note on LinkedIn, email me, or send a voice message. The links are in the show notes. Because remember, this season is built with you. For frameworks, prompt guides, and AI platform comparisons, visit promptengineeringcookbook.com. Until next time, stay aware, stay intentional, stay human. I'm Joel Leslie, and this is Decoded, AI for everyone.